was an object of attachment for people. Now that it is torn to pieces and scattered, it no longer has its original characteristics and only the pieces are seen. The place where the birds and beasts have devoured is appalling. 9. Asthaisamjna. When the birds and animals have gone, when the wind has blown it about and the sun has heated it up, the tendons become detached and the bones are scattered, each in a different place. The yogin says to himself, "Once I saw the bodily elements, the combination of which formed a body, and I was able to distinguish a man or a woman. Now that the corpse has been scattered in different places, the whole body has disappeared and the body itself no longer exists. It is completely different from what it was originally. Where is that which I once loved? The body is now white bones scattered in various places. When the birds and beasts have devoured the corpse, there is nothing but bones. When one contemplates the skeleton, there is the notion of the corpse reduced to bones. There are two kinds of skeletons. I. The skeleton in which the tendons and bones are still attached. 2. The skeleton in which the tendons and bones are separated. The skeleton in which the tendons and bones are still attached already excludes the notions of male or female, of tall or short, of fine colors, of slenderness and gentleness. That in which the tendons and bones are separated excludes the original notion of human being. Furthermore, there are two kinds of bones. I. Beautiful bones, and 2. Ugly bones. The beautiful bones are those that are always white, free of blood and fat, the color of which is like white snow. The ugly bones are those where the bloody and greasy remains have not yet disappeared. 10. Vidagdhakasamjna. The yogin goes to a charnel ground and sees that sometimes piles of grass and wood have been collected and that corpses are being burned. The belly bursts open, the eyes pop out, the skin burns and becomes blackened. It is truly dreadful. In a moment, the corpse becomes ashes. The yogin grasps this notion of the burned corpse and says to himself, "Before he died, he bathed this body in perfumes and gave himself up to the 5 objects of enjoyment. Now it is burned in the fire, it is worse than if he had suffered the soldier's sword." Immediately after death, this corpse still resembled a man, but as soon as it is burned, its original marks have all disappeared. All physical beings end up in impermanence. I too will be like that. These 9 notions destroy the negative emotions and are very powerful in destroying lust. It was to destroy lust that the Buddha preached the 9 notions. 3. Connection between the 9 and the 10 notions. Question. What do the 10 notions beginning with the notion of impermanence destroy? Answer. They also serve to destroy the 3 poisons, lust, etc. Question. If that is so, how do these 2 groups differ? Answer. 1. The 9 notions prevent those who have not attained the dhyanas and the samapattis from being enveloped by lust. The 10 notions remove and destroy the 3 poisons, lust, etc. 2. The 9 notions are like the enemy who puts the 3 negative emotions in chains. The 10 notions are like the enemy who kills them. 3. The 9 notions are a beginner's practice. The 10 notions are a perfected practice. 4. Of the 10 notions, the 7th, that of the horrible, includes the 9 notions called of the horrible. Some say that of the 10 notions, the 7th, the 4th, and the 5th, namely, the notion of impurity, the notion of the loathsome nature of food and the notion of displeasure in regard to the world, include the 9 notions. Others say that the 10 and the 9 notions are equally detachment and, together, nirvana. Why? 1. When the first signs of death appear, in the time it takes to say it, one is dead already. The body swells up, putrefies, breaks apart, is scattered and everything changes. This is impermanence, anityata, the first of the 10 notions. 2. One was attached to this body but when impermanence has destroyed it, it is duhkha, suffering, the second of the 10 notions. 3. Being impermanence and suffering, it cannot be independent. Thus it is anatman, non-self, the third of the 10 notion. 4. Being impure, impermanent, suffering and non-self, it is anabhirata, an object of displeasure, the fifth of the 10 notions. This is the meditation on the body. 5. When food is in the mouth, the cervical saliva runs down and, together with the mucus, becomes flavor, but swallowing is no different from vomiting, and penetrates the stomach. Hence ahare pratikulasamjna, the notion of the repugnant nature of food, the fourth of the 10 notions. 6. When the yogin makes use of the 9 notions of the horrible to meditate on the impermanent, changing body that perishes from moment to moment, there is maranasamjna, the notion of death, the sixth of the 10 notions. 7. When the yogin uses the 9 notions to become disgusted with the joys of the world and knows that suppression of the negative emotions is salvation and peace, there is pratikulasam, the notion of cutting, the eighth of the 10 notions. 8. When the yogin uses the 9 notions to oppose the negative emotions, there is virajasamjna, the notion of detachment, the ninth of the 10 notions. 9. When, by using the 9 notions, the yogin becomes disgusted with the world and knows that the destruction of the 5 aggregates and the fact that they will not re-arise constitutes abiding and salvation, there is nirasamjna, the notion of suppression, the 10th of the 10 notions. 5. Moreover, the 9 notions are the cause, while the 10 notions are the fruit. This is why the Prajnaparamita Sutra speaks of the 9 notions first and then the 10 notions. 6. Finally, the 9 notions are the outer gate while the 10 notions are the inner gate. This is why the sutras speak of the 2 gates of the immortal, i.e., that of meditation on the horrible and that of attention to the breath. 4. Results of the 9 notions. 1. Rejection of the 7 types of lust. These 9 notions of the horrible eliminate the 7 types of lust in people. 1. There are people who are attached to colors, red, white, reddish-white, yellow, black. 2. There are people who are not attached to colors but who are attached only to shapes, delicate skin, tapered fingers, expressive eyes, arched eyebrows. 3. There are people who are not attached to either colors or shapes, but who are attached only to postures, ways of entering, of stopping, sitting, rising, walking, standing, bowing, raising or lowering the head, raising the eyebrows, winking the eye, approaching, holding an object in the hand. 4. There are people who are not attached to colors or shapes or postures, but who are only attached to language, soft sounds, elegant words, speech appropriate to the circumstance, replying to a thought, honoring orders, capable of moving people's hearts. 5. There are people who are not attached to colors or shapes or positions or soft sounds, but who are only attached to fine smooth furs, gentle to the skin, softening the flesh, refreshing the body in the heat and warming it in the cold. 6. There are people who are attached to all 5 things listed above at once.